Listen. You ever feel something, but don't say it? We've been down this road before. No need to pretend no more. Get your groove, get your groove, get your groove, get your groove. We're no strangers to love. You know the rules and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand.
This one real. No switching sides.
Hold it. Never gonna, never gonna, never gonna, never gonna, never gonna, never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Get your groove. Yeah, I lived through flaws, made mistakes, but I learned those laws. With you, it's different, I feel that shift like my whole life moving with a purpose. Every time that we drift apart, something pull me back to your heart. It's deeper than a vibe we chase, it's something real we can't replace. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Stay with me. Stay. Never gonna be, never gonna be. Stay. Never gonna be, never gonna be. Stay right here. Don't disappear. Stay right here. Don't disappear. Stay right here. Stay right here. Stay right here. Don't disappear. I won't switch up, I won't change lanes. Every moment with you running through my veins. If you never let you down.
Immortal. Yeah. Came out the portal, immortal into a human body. I've been existing way before the earth had Anunnakis. Intergalactical battles, intergalactical travels, infinitely going through stars. The universe will unravel all of its secrets, peep it. I'm starting to leak it. Time for truth is coming, 100, it's time to seek it. Expanding my perception through the spectrum of light. I'm going in with spectrum and the shit's out of sight. We indigo children, yeah, we building frequencies through the ceiling. Penetrating through reality, a marvelous feeling. Regardless, we're here killing these humans that be claiming we demonic. The resonance goes over their heads, we super cosmic. Your logic is ignorance mixed with fear in your thinking. My pineal gland is flooded, son, that shit don't be blinking. Sinking into your subconscious like a song with no words. The way I come up with these symbols of letters is absurd. Hey yo, my rhymes are like angelic beings. The shit is freeing, so pure that if you were born blind, I'll have you seeing. Breathing in a multi-dimensional light so captivating. Double helix is nonsense, so what I'm activating. Feel the power from within, seeping right through my skin. From the earth into my feet as it goes up to my chin. It got me grinning, rotation like spirals, my music spinning. I told you that I don't be playing, still I'm always winning. Fibonacci to the haters, curve them right to the side. They don't understand the energy, it comes from inside. So inside is what I master, used to be a disaster. Now I'm gladly elevating to a whole new chapter. Yeah, I'm giving birth to a whole new style. I incarnated through New York, yeah, I rep Long Island. Don't get it twisted though, I'm truly repping this earth. I came to free all these humans and show you all what you're worth. Immortal. Yeah, raising your frequencies one soul at a time. As I pass this mic to my boy Spectrum, yo Spectrum, light that up, kid.
They tried to tell me I'm mortal, I told them I was immortal. They asked me what makes me different, I asked them what makes you normal. I just followed my morals and I unfollowed the formal. Hopped on a track with crews, now we straight cruising through portals. I download the Metatron, I'm reversing it till I'm dead and gone. If you think I'm dope, then you said it wrong. Not trying to flex, but I'm hella strong. Mine did things you never seen. When I say mine, you know what I mean. I'm the most when I'm in my mode, and y'all average is like the mean. I really didn't mean to go intervene. I'm the middleman chilling in between. You should do the math, we ain't keeping score. But I just hit a 3.14. I cook it up, make it look easy as pie. I'm moving in silence and seeing the sign. I am the G. If you remove me, all you gon' see is your sins. This is a big game of sins. The simulation is breaking again. I'm taking control, creating my soul. And if the truth fits, I'm breaking it in. Breaking it. All I really know is that I'll never know. I've been here for forever, don't know when to go. I think that indicates that I'm an indigo. In that case, I'm in the go. Green light, my heart, chakra booming. Solar plexus, Lexus zooming. You assuming that I'm human. I'm just being what you doing. I've been teaching teachers frequently. It's apparent I'm a parent when it comes to raising frequencies. The way I'm living life, I haven't rest in peace recently. Immortal with my technique, but my ego dying easily. Death is teasing me by leaving me with DMT. Now it seems to me that everything I see is seeing me. Life is just an infinite circle with a twist. I used to wanna be like them, now they do not exist.
Immortal.
Peace and wholeness to the space. Please indicate in the chat whether or not you're able to hear my voice clearly. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. We are here for the aligning with the evolving cycles of time, knowledge, and empowerment session. And our topic today is, how do you measure change? And all of this is going to be encompassed through our blue self-existing storm. That is going to be Kin 199. 199, everybody. We're here every single Friday at 7:30 a.m. And we definitely want to welcome you to this session above all sessions. With this, you're going to be hearing from myself. You're going to be hearing from High Priestess, I am Makaru, and you're going to be hearing from Priestess Initiate, Moon Goddess Ambrosia, Kin 181. And let us go ahead and get this show on the road. Are y'all ready for this? Hopefully you have your pens and papers out, and you're all set to take all kinds of notes, because it's going to be on and popping from this moment forward. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. All right. I am Priestess Mut Mayat Nefer Habibullah. I am the white solar mirror, and I would say, my soul definition, okay, is to, ooh, I was about to say the mission, the mimic, which it truly is. It really is. It truly is the soul definition of my whole everything. I love the mission of mimic, but we're gonna get to that in a second. But my signature is to is whew, I pulse in order to reflect, realizing order. I seal the matrix of endlessness with the solar tone of intention, and I am guided by the power of timelessness. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. All right. Now I'm going to read to us our prayer of the seven galactic directions. If you don't mind, please read it along with me. Each line bringing in its truth and wholeness to all that we are. And if you decide, you can stand up and point to each direction during this seven galactic prayer of directions, okay? Peace. We have from the east, house of light. May wisdom dawn in us so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. And from the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunapku Evamaya Emaho. Ayum Hunapku Evamaya Emaho. Ayum Hunapku Evamaya Emaho. All hail the harmonies of mind and nature. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. Give thanks. We are the Melanated Immortals making evolutionary changes, and our mission is to shift the global consciousness of the melanin dominant population and establish an everlasting legacy of divine frequency beings with immortal health and immortal wealth through the application and the remembrance of cosmic knowledge. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. And we are here on within the yellow warrior wave spell. And during this wave spell, which is based on a 260-day sacred solar cycle, okay, We are here to bring in the Kinergy of Kin 199, the blue, mm, self-existing storm. Y'all with me there? This Destiny Cross is definitely giving us a deeper look into the living design of this galactic signature. And if we take note, the center being also called the world changer is the one that's actually defining our form today, catalyzing our energy and transforming us through self generation. Above us, we have Kin 95 as the spiritual body, also known as the seer, guiding us through vision into our higher view of any and everything we set our hearts and minds to. To the right is our physical planetary body, which is Kin 160, the yellow self existing sun, aka the enlightened one, bringing our body into radiant illumination. Ashe. Then on our left, we have our mental body, which is also known as our challenge and our gift. If you really think on that part right there. Um, Whatever we press all the way through, right? It becomes something that we hold and we cherish for the mere fact that we made it through it, right? Which is Kin 69, the red self existing moon, aka the healer. It's teaching us purification and emotional flow through all that we do and everywhere that we go. And then at the bottom is the emotional, which is um like our hidden power or something. I know Moon Goddess Ambrosia is going to be breaking all this down to us momentarily. But the this kin number that is our emotional body is 62, the white planetary wind, also known as the high priestess. Yes, yes, yes. We have one of those in our presence today as well. The high priestess is awakening our spirit through breath and our sacred communications that we go through. And that is, or the high priestess is Kin 199. No, 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 no. Uh, Kin 69, if I'm not mistaken, reminding us that our true change begins when we define our energy and allow our transformation to take form through Kin 199. Yeah. No, no, no. White wind is Kin 62, but through 199, that is what we're doing, this plasma. So y'all take heed to that and let's read the signature 3 times with the I, you, and the we to seal and imprint it in our hearts and in our minds. I define in order to catalyze, measuring energy. I seal the matrix of self generation with the self existing tone of form. I am guided by the power of vision. You define in order to catalyze, measuring energy. You seal the matrix of self generation with the self existing tone of form, and you are guided by the power of vision. We define in order to catalyze, measuring energy. We seal the matrix of self generation with the self existing tone of form, and we are guided by the power of vision. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. Here in within our yellow warrior wave spell, we see the 13 plasmas, 13 tones that make up this wave spell. And we've already taken ourselves through the warrior, which is Kin let's see, 196. We've taken ourselves through the earth, which is the lunar tone, Kin 197, and Kin 198, the electric mirror. We're here today on 199 as we just spoke into our wholeness, the self-existing storm. And then from there, we're going to be moving into Kin on the, oh, I didn't mean to do that. In the dawning, we're going to be on Kin 200, the overtoned sun. Look at this pattern, you guys. Kin 201, the rhythmic dragon. Kin 202, the resonant wind. Kin 203, the galactic. Ooh. Sorry, night. Then Kin 204, the solar seed. Kin 205, the planetary serpent. Kin 206, the spectral world bridger. Hey, that's our priestess Kali Anu Etaru Podakimi. And then we have our spectral avatar, aka the hand, Kin 207, the crystal hand. And then we're going to be closing out on Kin 208, the cosmic star. Ashe, because just keep all this in mind, y'all. This wave spell is actually here um, to help us understand our sacred movement, all right, throughout each and every one of these tones and these plasmas, all right, and these archetypes, with the warrior bringing us challenge, the earth, no, the warrior as the magnetic is bringing us our purpose, okay? Then the lunar comes after that with the challenge. Then the electric comes after with the service and why we're doing it. The storm, what we have now, as you read in the signature, is bringing us our form. And then the sun, the overtone sun, is going to command some things, right? The rhythmic, dragon is going to bring balance to everything. And then our resonant, which is dead in the center, like we hear High Priestess says, is going to attune us, right? Set us, put us in balance, put us in order. And then the galactic tone of integrity is going to bring that in and make all that stuff just look and sound right, right? Then the solar is going to set the action into fruit and bring it into, now I want to say fruition, because fruition is what the planetary is going to be doing, making it and bringing it into manifestation. But the solar is just going to bring it all into action, bring it all to us to be able to touch stuff, and see it. Then the spectral is going to be releasing things that don't serve us. Then the crystal going to come in there and be like, all right, so we all need to cooperate. And then our star going to be that completion, that cosmic completion as stated before. So keeping in mind this yellow warrior wave spell, that we are here inviting everyone to ask your questions, seek your truth, and walk with fearlessness, with intelligence, all right? The blue storm is bringing us the power of the world changer. And in this here 13 wave spell, where transformation must be defined and measured, and also is going to be giving us, a physical view or structure, to help remind us that change is not something that just happens. It's not random, but it's something that we put in position. We align with our vision in this plasma now, in our energy and in our purpose. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. So now we have our 28-day Zolkin calendar here. And our Zolkin calendar consists of mm, 20 solar seals and 13 tones. We just went over all those tones, right? And I gave y'all what some of those solar seals are within that wave spell. But here, this is a total of 260 days of what we say living consciousness. Living consciousness. That's you, me, us, we. All right. Bringing it all together, mapping out life, mapping out how our minds work together, mapping out our spirit. And if you see it, and kind of like in the center, it looks like a double helix. All those green squares are what we call portal kin. Okay. These are, you would say, open doors to bring everything we said, our intuitions, and push it on through, make things happen with an open door, basically having an open door policy, when we look at it that way. But we have the first kin, the first seal, not kin. Well, yeah, it is the first kin and the first seal, which is the dragon, all the way down to, you see the bottom row, the bottom yellow row is the sun. So y'all stick with us because we go through each and every one of these kin every single Sunday, no, Friday dawning at 7:30 a.m. So you'll get a deeper understanding and purview on how to prepare for each galactic kin and each activation portal to go deeper into your cells and yourselves as we are one. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. We have here our 28-day cycle or 28-day moon, um, that we walk through every 13 moons, y'all. 13 moons, 13 tones, 28 plasmas of life living, and we have 4 heptads within this space, okay? Each heptad balancing out those 28 days, because I said days. See, look at that. We ain't walking around in no days. We're walking around in plasmas because there's nothing about anything that we do that is lackadaisical, right? So we like to say plasmas because it is living within us, living cells within us. And we say heptad instead of week. So heptad is the number 7. So we prefer to say that as well. So this heptad, as you notice, the yellow square down at the bottom, we're on the actual last plasma of this moon, which is Kin 199. And we're within the we're doing within what we have been doing within these past 7 plasmas is ripening, bringing everything that we on that first heptad put and then initiated into view of, this is going to be our plan, right? This is how we're going to, work through it all. But then the second heptad, as we refined and we meditated on the things that we put into view, we were working through that stage there, and then on the third, we began to transform and bring about some kind of conduct to those things that were refined and initiated. And now we are in that stage to ripen things out, right? So this moon is asking us, if y'all remember with me, let me maximize my screen so I can see this a little bit clearer. With the totem animal of the rabbit, the question is, How can I dedicate myself to all that lives? So let me ask you this. If you think back all the way to Can 172, as you began to put things into view for yourselves and yourselves, have you actually taken upon yourself to dedicate yourself to all that lives within this crystal moon, within this this year, yellow seed solar year? All right. Allowing the totem animal rabbit to just bring life. Because we know rabbits, they do that. They make babies, they bring life. It's so easy. But we want to make sure we continue to focus in on that. Um, so each plasma, all right, also recognizes or is aligned with our corpus callosum, our radioplasma within our corpus callosum. And so we have here Saturdays of this solar year are Dali, all right? And Dali is actually, oh my goodness, hold on one second. Got a little blank there. Dali, whew, is one of those plasmas, or yeah, Dali is a plasma that if you put your hand at the top of your head, it represents the target, okay? The crown chakra. And then the next would be Seelie, which from the crown, it circles down to your root chakra, which brings about flow. Oh, think about the divine feminine and the flow. Ashe, from the root. Then we have Gamma, which kind of comes in and helps to feed in or pacify, bring some kind of balance with our third eye, being able to see within that radioplasma of our luminic thermic zones within our wholeness. Then Kali representing the sacral, catalyzing and establishing everything it is that we're doing. Then we have Alpha, which is in which is aligned with our throat. Yeah, our throat chakra, bringing about a release in all that we are doing. When we speak things out, we are releasing. Some people say spells, some people say commands, some people say releasing things that no longer serve us, right? Then we have Limi, the solar plexus, aligned with the solar plexus. You can put your hand right there at your navel if you want to, because this is where purification comes, thinking about all of our organs, thinking about all the things that help us thrive from within, okay? And then we come back up to the heart, circling back up to the heart. And the heart literally discharges life, okay? It holds all the neutrons that are needed for us to maintain and sustain. Ashe. Then so that basically completes the whole heptad, as well as each plasma that we are basically flowing in, or finding our rhythm and how we're going to operate and sustain our wholeness. Ashe. So here we have our creed for the Blue Storm archetype, this plasma, and it reads as thus: for the world changer. I'm gonna try to. Nah, I won't do that. I am the world changer, coded by the Blue Storm. My number is 19, the power of all numbers. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation, I am the catalytic transformer of the world, consciousness, and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rain that purifies. It was I who caused the triple aspect monument of the avatar archetypes to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the living stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun. The present world sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the greatest generation, regeneration is the world's soul. To know me is to know your own power of self generation. To know me is to know your own power of self generation. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. So now let's govern ourselves and prepare for the announcements. And after the announcements, the show gonna continue on. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. Daily awake, I am today. Daily acknowledges the act of God empowering me to breathe. Alive I am today represents more time to live, move, and have my being. Amazing I am shows the wonders of light shining on my face. Healed from afflictions, distractions, and manipulations of this world. Strong I am today as the sun shines, wind blows and rain falls, reminding me to stand each test time. Wise I am today to see the truth at face value and walk with confidence, knowing.
Habitats of weeds, deadly supplies. 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 Deadly supplies.
All right, all right. Hope y'all took some notes. I wanted to bring this out. Our next major event is the Convergence in September, but we're also wanting you to save the date for the WISE conference, okay, which is an online networking opportunity if you have your own business, okay, or self-employed or whatever, and you want to network with us. Make sure y'all take heed to that announcement. Go to the website, seek out more RSVP, let us know your level of interest. Um, Bochatelet as well is a new developing sisterhood for our divine feminine. We are having a second information session on June the 30th at 7 p.m. Okay, so we have those three things that are happening in the now. We just came off of our womb evolution summer solstice retreat, which was immaculately amazing, had rites of passage for our young ones as well as for our seasoned. And definitely, it was a space to be in, filled with nothing but earth and our natural waters. We just give thanks to being on the beach. We give thanks for Priestess Initiate Ken 141 Yah and High Priestess for orchestrating such an amazing event. And I also want to give thanks to Baba Ken 38 Akil for opening this space, allowing me the opportunity to host in his place, as he does what he does, you know, for himself. We're just so grateful for all the energy and the tone that he sets when he comes in. And my hope is that I've stepped in and done the same for us. And so now we're going to bring on none other than our presenter for the oracle reading, Moon Goddess, Priestess Initiate, Moon Goddess, Ambrosia, the fifth force oracle. She is Ken 181. She gonna tell y'all a little bit more about that momentarily. But I just have to say I am grateful for this goddess coming into my life at the time that she did, and to mimic and us being able to evolve together, us being able to take on our challenges, us being able to work through, everything in this life, in this journey, using cosmology as a great tool to do just that. So, y'all, let's go ahead, put it up for her in the chat and welcome on to the stage Moon Goddess Ambrosia. Are you with me? Are you with us? Huh? Are you in the space?
You know I am.
Woo! There she go. There she go. There she go. Go ahead, take us away, sis. I yield the mic.
Ashe, much love and gratitude to you as always. I share the same sentiments. Definitely been beautiful to grow and evolve and, even just be inspired by your growth, together. And I'm definitely thankful for you as well. So I appreciate you from the deepest part of my heart. And I do want to say, peace and grand rising to everybody here in the space. Everything that Priestess Moot has shared, about, what we do here through Mimic, how we all show up to contribute and, just all of us being here sharing space together for this evolution and the purpose and mission of Mimic. I appreciate us and, the fact that we have this opportunity presented for us to tap in. So, yes, peace and divine blessings, everybody. I'm definitely looking forward to getting into the oracle reading for this plasma today. Because we changing some world today. Well, we're changing the world. Okay, we're always doing it in every moment of now, and particularly on today, we get to focus more deeply and more intentionally of into how we are, doing that. And so I'm sure that you got your notebooks and your pens out already. And if not, I want to elbow nudge you to go ahead and get that. So we are going to go ahead and jump right on into the Cosmic Oracle reading of evolution. I also call these the core readings for the collective. I do these as personal readings as well. But yeah, today we are focusing on us as a collective. And so we're going to do this by allowing ourselves to tap into the mindset of a synchronaut. And just briefly, to reference some of the information that Priestess Moot had went over, when she was going over the moon, where we are within this, in the moon, in the crystal rabbit moon, as well as on the Zocan calendar. I wanted to, keep encouraging us to look at it from the standpoint that we are traveling these synchronicities. Look at the name of the session, on aligning with the cycles. We got to get on the road. We got to get moving, driving our lane. You know what I'm saying? So we can do that by, recognizing that we are living expressions of divinity. When we model the fact that we are multidimensional beings, all of that synergizes into us being able to really, really cooperate within, so that we can flow more elegantly, through these cycles. And so the next stage of this is, it puts us in a position to remember what our divine purpose is. The more that we tap into that inner awareness, we begin to get these insights, those memories, those visions start to pour in. We tap into our heart space. And so that's where we can get more clarity as to, how we want to show up in this frequency through our purpose, so that we can consciously create as divine expressions of the creator. And so, being that we are in this yellow heptad, I really want to remind us that we are here to fulfill our soul's mission. And that means it can show up in different ways. Even though we embody all 260 kin, we have a specialty which comes through our galactic signature, which, Priestess Mu also uses the same thing. We refer to it as our kinergy. So when we tap into our kinergy, and, we put it all together, so we can, make these shifts and evolutions. And so again, if you do not know your kin number, please put your date of birth in the chat so we can get you your kin number. And so for those of us that already know, let's go ahead and tap into our own frequency, because, being that this is a collective reading, we want to be aware of, ourselves first, and then allow ourselves to cooperate together. And so I would love for you to speak your affirmation out loud as I speak mine. Oh yes, I see some birthdays coming into the chat. Ashe, yeah, we're gonna get you your kin number. Ashe. And a solar return coming up. Okay, happy early solar return. So yes, I want us to say our galactic signature by using this format. We're going to start by saying, as a living expression of. Then you're going to say your kin number, its name, and then move into your galactic signature. And so, please take your time. You don't have to feel like, you got to rush to say it. I get it. Because I want us to really resonate with the words and the frequencies that we're tapping into when we say our affirmations. And so let's go ahead and begin by, allowing ourselves to be present, to take a deep, deep, deep inhale in through our nose and hold it and let it on out. And let's begin with our affirmations. As a living expression of Kin 181, the red crystal dragon, I dedicate in order to nurture, universalizing being. I seal the input of birth with the crystal tone of co-operation. I am guided by the power of space. Take a deep inhale, hold it, let it out. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe, y'all. And so, as we all shared and expressed our affirmations, take notice as to what you felt, what words stood out, and allow that to guide you in us exploring the destiny oracle of this plasma. Particularly for me, what stood out was I am dedicated to nurturing, to seal the inputs of birth. That's why I want to encourage us to tap into our energy. Ashe. And we're cooperating. That's what these collective readings are for. This is why we gather and join these sessions. Ashe. All right. And so Priestess Moot has shared, some information about the destiny oracles that we tap into. So I just want to, just bring it all into perspective by sharing that the Destiny Kin Oracle is a 5th dimensional template. It includes the soul, the emotional body, the mental body, the emotional body, and I feel like hold on, which one I didn't say? So we got the soul, the spirit, emotion, mental, and physical body. And so all of these 5 aspects, when they are cooperating together, they synergize. They become and form into one energy, which is known as the 5th force. And so when we tap into this energy, when we, come here, each plasma and say the affirmation for each plasma, it serves as a tool and a compass for us sustaining our own synergy as well as the synergy of all of us together. And so just by us saying our affirmations, we're synergizing our frequencies together so we can get into this evolution, these, to shift some things. Ashe. All right. So this is the layout of the Destiny Oracle comes from the Oracle board. So I pulled out the Blue Storms Destiny Oracle. So over on the left, if you already know your archetype and you may not know the different kin archetypes that's a part of your personal Destiny Oracle, you can look at this Oracle board to find out. And so I'm just going to focus on us being on Kin 199, which is the blue self-existing storm. And when you look at the Oracle board, there is a blank box there, and that is the position of the spirit guide. And so the kin that sits in that position is determined by the galactic tone. So those 4 dots represents that self-existing tone. And so this gives us the blue eagle that sits in that position. So I say that to say that all of the blue storms embody the white wind in the emotions, the red moon in the mental, and the yellow sun in the physical. However, they express that energy different based on the galactic tone, and it is guided by a different archetype or a different kin as well. And so this is basically the components of the Destiny Oracle that we will begin talking about. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and move us into our focus for this plasma, which we are in the Yellow Warrior wave spell, and I look at these as different creative missions. And so this is the power of us tapping into divine intelligence so that we question our fearlessness. Just think about it. We are divine beings. If you want to, if you usually, well, I'll say this, whatever you call that divine intelligence, your higher self, your divine self, God, the Most High, whatever you refer to that, when we tap and align ourselves to that energy and recognize that, that divine frequency is fearless. So when we allow our intelligence to ask these questions, that is what helps us to move beyond fear. It reminds me of that quote, a lot of the time, the quote basically says that, most of the time, if we we're experiencing some form of fear, it's because we don't have enough information about it. We don't know too much. So when we tap into that intelligence and ask questions, that helps to resolve, and remove any of those fears that may be showing up. And so the mission of this wave spell is to take that fearlessness into the way that we beautify the arts of embodying this divine intelligence with elegance, with gracefulness. And so that is the mission for this wave spell, where we are, where we have the 13 kin. And so, excuse me, let me slow down. We have the 13 kin that all contributes to facilitating and carrying out that mission. And so looking at the breakdown of the blue self-existing storm will give us a deeper insight as to how it contributes to it, to us facilitating that. And so give me 1 second here. Let me see. All right, here we go. All right, so the blue represents us having the patience to transform our conduct, just like with the heptads. So the color pattern of the kin, that helps us to connect with the way that we show up in our energy. So by us practicing that patience, that's where the transformation takes place. And so in addition to that, this is the blue storm, known as the world changer. And this is the creative power of self-generation through catalyzing energy. And this aspect of catalyzing energy comes from the energy we embody, the energy we embody as our life force, as well as the energy that is around us as well. And so when we integrate that is how we can change the world. Ashe. And so that is the creative essence that we're focusing in on and tapping into on this plasma. And the galactic tone is how we're gonna, move in this vibration through that self-existing tone. And so the self-existing tone is here to define the form, through the act of measuring it. That measuring is like doing an assessment to make sure and to be clear that, this is what it is. And so when we look at ourselves in the way that we embody our own energy, it's like, okay, let me do an energy assessment. Am I really showing up in this frequency? Or you can even ask, how am I showing up in this frequency? How am I catalyzing energy? What type of energy am I even catalyzing and putting out there, And so this is what we're focusing on. How does that energy takes form or takes shape through us? And so when we say the affirmation, this helps us to connect with that. It helps us to bring more clarity to it as well. So we are defining our intelligence. We're defining how or what form of relationship we have with embodying and utilizing divine intelligence. Because again, we are divine beings. So when we tap into that, we get to start catalyzing the insights. We start getting the downloads, the visions, again, because we're being guided by that eagle, which helps us to move with elegance. And that's just moving in a graceful flow of allowing the insights to guide us in the way that we're navigating. And so through that assessment of, how we're cultivating and expressing this energy, we get to lock it in. And that's how we self-generate. Ashe. So being aware of, the energy within and around us and integrating all of that, we lock it in, and that's what creates the form. And so again, we're being guided by the power of vision, which I am going to dive a little bit more deeper into for us to, really put together the pieces of the puzzle to see how the Blue Eagle is showing up as that spiritual guide for us on this plasma. And so just keep in mind, like, what we're doing is being consciously aware of the energetic state that we embody so that we can direct it with intention. towards what we're seeking to contribute to change the world. Okay, so here we have the layout of the Destiny Oracle. And give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So I want us to think about what visions come to mind for you when you think about how you naturally relate, embody, and create with the Kenergy that that you showed up in, or that is your specialty. Okay. So the reason for that is because we're tapping into that frequency of defining that form through the question of what is the form that my service will take. So through us, again, we're in that wave spell of asking questions. Don't be afraid to ask the question. Okay. I even, say that all the time. Like, no matter what it is, there's no such thing as a don't question from my perspective. Okay. Because if something's not clear, we got to ask to find out. That's the only way to know. And so again, that's, just to bring it on back. So we're gonna do this. I have it numbered by how I'm gonna break it down. However, you can tap into this focus from any aspect. You could tap into it from the mental body, through the challenges that you may be observing or experiencing. You could tap in from your emotional body, from what's motivating you to tap into your energy. And you can look at what's going on around you and, get some insights from there through the physical body. So I just want to throw it out there. It's no like one concrete way of looking through this. It's different ways that you can flow through this connection. Okay. So the way that I'm going to explain it is from like as above, so below, as within, so without. So that is why I am going to start with the spirit guide, which is the blue self-existing eagle. And it is guiding us to create the vision. And that's through assessing our mindsets. So as we, focus in on how we're generating our energy, what is our mindset? That is like the question. Like, what type of mindset do you have? Like, say, I think last time I used the example of like, say you have a vision of creating a community center. Are you operating from that mindset that's going to help you to create that? So again, that's where we're measuring and doing that energetic assessment of, how we're operating from our mind. Are you tapping into your free will, or are you allowing your wisdom to show you how to plant those seeds so it can bloom? So whatever it is for you, where, like, I would encourage you to start from where you are right here and right now, because you can look at it, of course, from just how you are as a being, like your character. How do you, like, what vision do you have for the character that you are showing up as? And that's what's going to propel it into, the way that you contribute to the mission and to us evolving as a collective. And so that is what's guiding us towards transcending in our life force, being able to thrive in the visions, thrive energetically and on all different levels as we explore these different spaces that we are in. And so I'm going to move into the mental body because of the color pattern. So remember, just like with the heptads, the first heptad is the knowledge that initiates the view. So I want to start with initiating the mindsets through this mental body, where we have the red self-existing moon that sits here. Just a couple of notes that you can dive into is this is a galactic activation portal. So this is where you can get the ka-ching, them downloads, the money start coming in. You can really tap into some insight from this. And so the mental body is the aspect that strengthens our ability to focus through different challenges that we may experience, so that we can get to the gift. So remember, it's about allowing the mindset to guide us. So say that, you have this vision of creating a community center, creating a community center, but your mindset isn't fully aligned to it. So you can't, or you feel like your mindset isn't fully aligned with it, like, just from the way that you may be, your lifestyle, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, you may not just feel like you're, like you could do it tomorrow. So whatever that is, the mental body can help you to purify, some of those things that may feel like a blockage, or may feel like it's interfering with the way that you flow. So this helps us to measure and, again, do an energetic assessment on how we're flowing with this energy through different challenges that we may face when it comes to the goals that we seek to bring form to. And so that also purifies the universal water. The universal water is all energy. It's like the source pool of energy that's within and all around us. And so, even that in itself is a beautiful way to look at how the blue storm is a world changer. Everything around us embodies energy. It's some form of energy all around us. And so when we purify the flow of our own energy, that also helps to contribute to how we purify as a collective. And so that is the mental body. Down below is the emotional body, where we have the blue planetary wind that sits here. And so, again, the spirit guide, the soul focus, and the emotional body is like that above, so below aspect. So within, we have our personal experiences, as we, go through life. So when we take a moment to breathe, produce the breath, that enables us to communicate with our spirit. And so as we focus on, this energetic assessment, just breathe. Allow yourself to, take some deep breaths. Allow yourself to communicate and verbally express what you're feeling and how you're thinking, because that also brings in a deeper awareness that is different from us just holding it all in. So, you can write it down, you can journal, you do voice notes, you can talk to somebody, you can talk to your higher self or your divine self, just allow yourself to breathe and communicate, communicate what emotions you feel, because that also brings more clarity to how you're flowing towards your vision. You can also get more clarity on the type of mindset that you have too. Like when you go back and listen to those recordings, if you record it, you can be like, oh, snap. Ooh, you'll notice some things about your mindset. So the emotional body is fueling us to focus and continue to move in the direction of our vision just by breathing and staying connected to spirit. Ashe? All righty. And then over on the right side, again, this is the physical body. The physical body, or the physical kin, represents the internal part as well as the external. So it's honestly the physical body is just like the materialized aspect of things. And so we have the materialized aspect of things that supports everything on the left side of the Destiny Oracle, everything that we done covered already. This is how we get to see it. It's the mirror. We get to see the reflection of it, of the energy that we're embodying, And so we have the yellow self-existing sun that's sitting here, which is encouraging us to do an assessment of our life. How are we showing up in our life with our enlightenments? How are we staying connected to that inner fire that we have? That inner fire is like that joy, that passion, that spark of life that creates new life. Just like the sun shines on everything, how do we radiate or shine our lights? essentially is what the yellow sun is here to, is encouraging us to show up as, or to connect with. And so when we do this energetic assessment of our life through breathing, through assessing the way that we flow, through assessing our mindsets, that helps to bring awareness to define the form of energy that we're self-generating. Okay. And so, just putting it all together, we send out this frequency that helps us to fulfill the evolved expression of what we're here to create. We do it through trusting our instincts. We do it to thrive, so the same energy that we're generating and catalyzing, we're going to take this into every space by being present and just being who we are. Okay, so allow yourself to, reflect on this some more. Feel free to come back to the replays. The replays are always going to be here, so you could come back later to listen to the whole thing again. You might hear something differently later on. You might see some synchronicities. Like, trust me, you're going to see some connections, because I know personally how it has shown up for me. So trust and believe. You're going to see some things if you haven't already. And so with that, I am going to wrap up the Cosmic Oracle reading of evolution for us on this plasma. And so I want to send us off with some love. May that you all enjoy your creation in every single moment of now. And so with that, I will be signing on out of here. I love y'all. Stay peace. I will talk to y'all in the chat.
All right. Much gratitude. You tapped into Moon Goddess. You tapped into what this Sunday's melanin frequency and active unity is going to be about. Because our breath definitely takes us so many different places. It helps us to get through so many different things. So much gratitude to you, Moon Goddess Ambrosia, the fifth force oracle, for that oracle reading. And as y'all saw in the chat, we did share with the new kin. If you want to learn your affirmation, your signature, your galactic signature, either reach out to us on melanatedimmortals.com and send an email to admin@melanated, or send an email to admin@melanatedimmortals.com, and we'll definitely help you get to your signature, or lawtime.com, or if you have an iPhone, you can download the 1320 Sync app. 13 colon sync, 13:20 SYNC app. And or if you're on an Android, Synchronario is a really good app to go through and to help you see each and every single plasma and of the all 260 expressions of the creator there. So yes, hope to see y'all also on Sunday evening at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. in this space. Ashe, Ashe. And make sure y'all subscribe to the website. Make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube channels, like them, share them with like-minded. Okay, you could go ahead and do that like right now. Yeah, go ahead and do that like right now. Like, right? You get it? Like right now. Um, comment whatever it is that is definitely speaking out to you. Like Moon Goddess said, journal, all those good things, they are benefit. Let us know how your life is evolving as you continue to um join us for each and every one of our sessions. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. So hey, y'all see who on the screen, right? This most beautiful goddess is our high priestess of Mimic, is our high priestess of all that it is womb evolution technique. She's the high priestess of the Mimic priesthood. She's the high priestess of the melanin frequency. And she's also one of the founders of Mimic. And we just thank her. We thank Baba Nebta Harka and Baba Wanik Kimi Tahuti Shabazz for bringing Mimic to fruition and seeing all that we are doing and continuing here under her leadership, her cosmic knowledge, her spiritual wisdom. She's pouring it out. Everything that's been put in her, everything that continued to evolve through her as our spiritual guide, as our visionary leader, as an extraordinary teacher. You're going to hear more about that. You're going to hear more of that part right there in just a second. Well, no, a few seconds. And so I just want to go ahead and make room, y'all. Put it up for High Priestess in the chat. Let her know how much you appreciate every single thing that she's doing to help keep us as a melanin dominant population evolving into our true selves and everything that we were incarnated to be. So much gratitude to you, High Priestess. I'm going to go ahead, yield the mic, and bring you in.
The high priestess of Mimic who pulled me in. The high priestess of Mimic who pulled me in. It's time we come together to raise our consciousness. Amen. The high priestess of Mimic who pulled me in. Amen. Amen. The high priestess of Mimic who pulled me in. Amen. It's time we come together to raise our consciousness.
Open your mic, goddess.
Got it.
There
No. I
go.
was,
There you go. There
all
you go.
right. Great dawning, everyone. Yeah. All right. I I won't tell you what I was doing, but anyway, great dawning. I was trying to beat the music. All right. Great dawning, everyone, and welcome to Aligning with the Cycles. Just excited to be here. Y'all know I'll be coming in crazy. Always excited about being here this dawning and give thanks to these beautiful goddesses who got us started. Yeah, very, very hyped. The energy. I love the energy that has already been presented. Shout out Priestess Mutma Nefer Habibullah. Yes, for being our hostess. She's standing in for our brother Ken 38, brother Akil. And definitely, these I love how, they just, he's the crystal mirror and she's the solar mirror. And so, they were just like, hey, the mirrors are going to do it, right? So I just appreciate that. Also appreciate Brother Akil for being so dedicated to being here. And Priestess Moot, excellent presentation in the beginning to give us the basics to help us to remember, all of what we're talking about. These are cycles within cycles within cycles. And then also shout out to Moon Goddess Ambrosia for that excellent oracle reading. And you know how we do with that TAF, right? That's what I call, that's my little nickname for her. And really, that was an excellent oracle this dawning. And so, yeah, how y'all doing? Hey, I see we got some new people. All right, look, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. If you are new here in the space, I saw people put in their date of births and things like that to get their kin numbers. What we're going to do, send us an email, admin and melanated immortals, like Priestess Moot was talking about. Go ahead, and if somebody can just put that in the chat so they know, send us an email, and we're going to just have a special session, a welcome session for you guys, give you some more information, just kind of, touch and feel you guys, if you're coming in the space and you're new, right? So, all right, shout out Orisha Stone. I see you. Yeah, listen, let me tell you, Orisha Stone, we last on last Strong In, as you heard Priestess Moot talk about, we were at our Womb Evolution summer solstice retreat, and we had a table with these Orisha Stone products here, these necklaces. We had some thing. Listen, they gone. Okay, I'm just telling you, they gone. He got to send me some more. So if you all are looking at, and y'all looked at the website and y'all vibing with some of the things that you saw, I encourage you, once we put the new ones up there, when you see them, get them right then and there. Because this summer we're going to be doing a lot of traveling. Y'all might see us at different events and stuff like that. And I'm going to be rolling with these Orisha Stone jewels. And so, yeah. All right. So they're going to go fast. So I'm telling you, they gone. We got to get some more. So I got to wait so I can have some more. So, all right. So, let's go. Let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. I am so excited coming off of that retreat. And yes, shout out to Sister Yakim 141, putting some spice on that summer solstice retreat that we had, and very much appreciate her for all of the energy that she put in from starting last year, right? She gonna do it again, right? So I'm telling you, man, it's just exciting. So let's go. Next slide, please. I'm on my phone, so I can't move the slides myself. All right. So let's talk about where we are. So you guys, as you heard from Priestess Moot, you heard from Moon Goddess about the cycles, right? This is called aligning with the cycles, right? The evolving cycles of time. And what we're talking about is taking this information. This is information from the Olmec cosmology, and you may hear about it being spoken about as the Mayan cosmology, right? And these are cycles within cycles. And so what we're doing here is we're taking. So it's one thing to, be able to go and look at the glyphs and all of that stuff, but how do we apply that, right, to who we are now, to modern times, right? And this is the energy that we're in now, right? One of the things I can't look at the chat. One of the things that we are doing, right, is what we now know about ourselves, right? Remember, I've been asking the question, what's our species, right? Who are we? Where do we come from? And if you look at everything else in nature, right? Every species, they operate like their species. Dolphins do what dolphins do. Trees do what trees do. Right? So if we are from source, if we are one of these 260 expressions of the creator, then what do we do? Right? We do what creators do. We do what those from source do. We do what divine entities do, what the divine beings do. And this is one of our formations, right? We have several, as we know, right? Many of the people here, it's probably be easier for me to ask who has not astral traveled, who has not, tapped into all different realms. It's easier to ask who hasn't than who has, right? Because if I ask that and I say put it in the chat, everybody gonna put it in the chat. Who doesn't talk to ancestors? Who don't have, lucid dreaming? Right? We all do. Why? That is not a superpower. That is not something it is abnormal, but it's not abnatural, right? We talk about this all the time, the difference between normal and natural. Normal is a family that work their way into the dictionary. So it's standard, right? Natural is outside, right? So what's natural is for us to operate as cosmic beings, as divine beings, as source, as goddesses and gods on earth, doing the things that cosmic beings do on earth, that goddesses do on earth, that creators do on earth, that sorcerers do on earth, right? We're source. And this is so there is no separation between these formations that we have. We have an etheric, we know this on anybody, if you've studied even a little bit in the Kemetic cosmology, the Ka, the Ba, the Sa, you know what I'm saying? Like all these different forms, they're all you. They are all source. They are all, and then when we are in this formation, it's a resource, right? We get to use our spiritual, our etheric form in the physical form. It's a resource for us. We need to become more resourceful, right? The program has conditioned everyone to operate from a deficit, that you have to work your way up to divinity, that you have to work your way up to being a spiritual being, to being a bodhisattva, right? To being a guru, to being, right? All of those things are those titles are for those who remember who they are, and they are able to actualize that in every form, right? Including this one. There's really no difference. Like I say all the time, some people, call, this is the lower this and the lower that. I'm just talking about me. That's how I used to speak as well. But when I realized that that's a mental thing, right? It puts you in a mindset of separating yourself, right? So instead of lower, I say slower, right? In the physical, it's just slower. It's the same. You're the same thing, right? It's called quantum entanglement. You are quantumly entangled with your etheric self. Those particles act the same way. Now, because we are creators, because we are sorcerers, because we are divine entities, goddesses, gods, whatever you want to call it, we can put ourselves we can pretend that we're not. We can pretend that we're separate from ourselves, that we don't even have the same abilities that we have as gods on earth, goddesses on earth, that we don't even have the same abilities that we do when we are in our creator form, when we're in our etheric form. We can literally dampen those fields. That right there is a as we've been talking about this, right? And I love the way Moon Goddess, what does she call it? An energetic assessment, right? But that is what we're talking about, the measurement, right? We can pretend that we're whatever. We're the only beings on this planet, only natural beings on this planet that can do that. Right? Even as intelligent as they say ants are, ants can't pretend that they're birds. They might be able to go into a bird formation. Now they can do that. Right? They do some smart things, right? Right? They can't do, they only know how to be ants. They don't know how to be a deer, a plant, trees. As much as I love trees and everything that they do, they can only be trees. So creators, though, we have, this is, let's change our minds about who we are. This is fun being one of us. I know, right? It did not happen like that. Didn't nobody tell us that at birth. And then we done went through the school system. We done, and then, you melanated, right? And it's all kinds of stuff that happen because you're melanated. It's all kinds of stuff that happens because of your gender. Right? I know. All these conditions, all these situations, it's difficult to change your mind to your natural frequency, which is source. Right? We are source. We are the all. We are the whole. We are the most high in this expression. Right? And this cosmology helps to put us back into that foundation through working through a program, right? That's why it's laid out like this, right? So if you look on the right-hand side, right, we got this model, the Tzolk'in model, when we heard Priestess Moot go over this, right? So that's the 260 expressions of the creator. Our ancestors called this the most sacred of the calendars that they have. They have several calendars, right? Several. Just like the Dogon. We did the same thing everywhere on the planet. Right? And as we heard, Baba Wanik say, if we weren't everywhere, there would be no people anywhere, right? So we did the same thing, we did the same thing everywhere on this planet. So that's why you can find, okay, well, wait a minute, I thought these were Mayans and they got all these calendars, but the Dogon got all these calendars. And then these other people have all these calendars because it's the same people everywhere. Doing the same with the same, it's source, it's creators coming and putting this information all over the planet, right? So this one, though, they call this the most sacred. Why? It's based off of a 9-month cycle, approximately 9 months, an incarnation cycle. That's why we call our readings the galactic incarnation readings. It's how you came in, right? What's the specialty of you as the creator, right? What's your specialty? It's your kin number. And that signature tells you what it is, right? And so as so this 2-dimensional layout that you see over here on this right-hand side, right? That shows all 260 kin is a way to get into a 2-dimensional formation. Why do I say 2-dimensional and not 3? Y'all have heard me say this before, right? I think that we only been focusing on 2 dimensions, up, down, left, right, back and forth, side to side. not the third dimension, which is the observer, which is the neutral part, right? Atom is in 3 parts, not 2, right? So it's like taking an atom and only talking about the proton and the electron and not the neutron. That is bonded with the proton in the nucleus, and it makes up the weight of the atom is in the nucleus, and then it attracts the electron. So it's always 3. Just think about it. If I know they talk about duality, right? But I this is just my perspective, and there's perspectives. You can't really be objective, right? If it's just right and wrong. You see, where's the neutral part of that? Right? You gotta have 3, not 2. When you're looking at that symbol for duality, who's looking at it? The third. Right? I want us we incarnated here in this time, and which is an exciting time because the dampening fields are loosened. And now we're coming back to our true selves. We're coming back to our right minds. We've been out of our minds, literally out of our minds. Right? And so, but we're here, and this can be, it doesn't have to be a realm of pain and suffering. Right? Because remember, there's 2 things, pain and suffering. It doesn't have to be like that. We can change our minds and change the frequencies in the air, right? We talk about world changing on this plasma, aren't we? You experience what you think about. Everybody knows that, right? And if you have been in a frequency of experiencing pain and suffering, you can change your mind and experience a frequency of joy and love and jubilance and adventure, right? Even maybe people say, oh, that's too tree hugging hippie-ish, right? But what about discernment? What about just, some people are explorers. Some people like to work with the mind and the calculate, that's joyful, right? That's joyful to some, whatever it is. I'm not saying it gotta be, fluffy clouds and, unicorns and stuff, right? It could be, hey, you know what? Let me calculate the frequencies of these particles that I see in the air. Right? But you ain't in pain and suffering while you're doing it. You have the freedom to just experience that. Right? So as we go into, the way that this modern translation of this cosmology, I want to be clear, this is a modern translation. Right? But I think it's brilliant because it allows you into the program and then to see your way out. Right? So that's what you see on the right-hand side. It's a 2-dimensional layout. Right? What you see on the left in that circle, that's the original, right? It's a wheel. They just turn it every day, right? They just turn the wheel. What you see on that outer wheel is 20 archetypes. Archetypes are like Orishas, Abelson, Neteru, and then those 13, again, a very feminine cycle because it takes 13 days for an egg to mature. On the 14th day, it is released, right? So what you see in there, those are the 13 roles or functions that go with the 20. 13 times 20, right, is 260. Each making up the 260 expressions or the 260 faces of the Creator, right? And which one of us, right? This is our expression. On this plasma, we're talking about Kim 199, and shout out to Sister Rhonda out in California, Kim 199. That's the blue self-existing storm. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about it. What you see in the center, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, is a perspective of how we can go through these cycles, a practical explanation of how to travel through this Zokin, right? Because you might say, well, I don't want to keep going around in a circle. Well, it's not a circle, it's a spiral, right? It's a spiral. And when we start in that at kin number 1, right? The first thing is a new paradigm, a paradigm shift, right? As you go through all these 260, your mind is going to change. Guaranteed. Right? Your mind is going to change. The way you think about things, the way you think about yourself. Take a 260 spin and see what happens. It's only one way to find out. Right? And as you keep traveling through these 260 spirals, right? They change. You have a new paradigm each time, right? And number 2, then you go in and you experience your destiny through that new paradigm, right? Number 3, you get to attune your life force based on that new paradigm. And number 4, this is the cycle that we're in now, and then you evolve, right? And on number 5, you prepare for a new one, and that's more potent than the last one, right? Till you keep going, you're not talking about pain and suffering no more. I said it. I forget when I was talking about it. I think it was through the core chant. Give us another 260 spin. We're not going to be up here talking about the problems, the situations, the circumstance, and problems, pro-blames, right? We're going to be exploring new destinies, new destinations, new ways of experiencing ourselves as divine beings on earth. Because I don't think we ever had a chance under that program. Maybe when we were children. And then very shortly after being a child, right? When you go to school, 6, I forget, 5, 6, I don't know, right? When you start going to school, the program comes on. And stop having these adventures, these quests, right? Let's go to the next slide. Let's break it down a little bit further where we are in this cycle, right? So we're in this wave spell group called evolutionary intelligence. And evolutionary intelligence, right? This cycle started with evolving, right? Because remember, I said, when we get to this cycle with that new paradigm, we done worked all the way through it. Now it's time to go into a new cycle, a new spiral of evolution. So we started with the wave spell of the red earth, right? And that wave spell, the red earth is the navigator, right? So the red earth navigates evolution, and it synchronizes, and it's in sync with everything. You ain't got, it's not, you ain't got to ask no questions about it, right? It's not time for planning and development. It's go time. Evolution takes everything that's efficient and takes it to the next level. So that's why I like to say, when we go through a cycle of evolution, we go through a cycle of being more efficient, right? And if it's not efficient yet, evolution, okay, well, I'm gonna leave that right there. We're gonna come back around for that one. But everything that is efficient, oh yeah, go time. Right? Navigate and synchronize that, right? We even had a session where we talked about, I think it was during the wave spell of the red earth. We had these acronyms for Ashe, right? And how when you're in, when things are ready to go, you have the Ashe. Everything is already, it's aligned, it's synchronized, and it's efficient. That's just one way of, that's just one way to look at Ashe. There were several, right? Gotta go back and scroll back and look at the channel. And I think it's in the title, right? Then the way that we refine evolution is through the weighing of the heart. That's the white dog wave spell. That's the compare. Why do we say it's the weighing of the heart? Because the power of the white dog is the heart. So this is like a whole wave spell of Ma'at, right? The weighing of the heart. What are you loyal to? What do you truly love, right? And when you truly love and you are loyal to something, it's a law. Right? If you look at the etymology of the word love, or look at the, not necessarily the etymology, the history, right? It's been translated a little differently in English, but if you look at some of the older languages, or if you look at in the Kemetic system, love is associated with Ma'at, the weighing of the heart. It's also associated with law. Everything, it goes back to law, love and law, right? When you love something, it is your law, right? Whatever mission you're on, the pathway you are, that square, right? Right? They say that square, that's the mound of Ma'at. That's your law, right? That's what you're doing. And that's how you do it. That's how you see it. And you stand firm on that. You don't move from your square, right? So so once we go through an evolutionary cycle, right? Sorry, the light went off. When we go through an evolutionary cycle, we then go and see, is this law? Like, okay, wait a minute, hold on, let me measure my heart space with this. We done changed things, and I know this is more efficient, but let me see how I feel about it. Let me see if I can put this in my heart. Am I going to be loyal to this evolution, right? So that's how we refine it. Now, once we get past that, we say, okay, yeah, you know what? I like this. Okay, right? Then we go into a cycle of transformation. And we just finished this wave spell, right, of abundance. Because see, now we standing on our square, right? We're standing on Ma'at. We done weighed the heart, right? And now we are literally, because the blue knight, right, is the dreamer, right? Goes out and dreams and brings that back into our intuition, but it puts it in real time. It is literally the Akasha. and it's being written in real time. So transformation, I love how a guru told me this, that transformation happens in the moment, right? We use AIM always in meditation, right? The meditation at a certain point, the meditation has to go beyond you closing your eyes and squeezing your hands and putting them gang symbols. I know, I'm just joking because I'm talking about me, right? Don't get mad at me, right? I'm talking about the Buddhists, right? Throwing up symbols. You know? It goes past that, where it needs to come out here. This is the meditation, right? This is abundant. We have so many particles that are now unused because every day the program had everybody focus on the war, conflict, combat, deficit, feeling like you got to work your way up to being a divine being when you already are, right? And so there are frequencies here that we ain't even used yet. We ain't even tapped in. Not yet. So this abundance wave spell says, hey, listen, tune in tune, be in tune in to you. Everybody got a natural frequency, just like the plants and animals, right? They talk about that, right? They talk about the natural navigation of birds. They have a natural frequency that's here on Earth. This is why we are now claiming the Earth instead of saying, you know, I hear people, oh, this is just the junk. What do they call it? Oh no, they say something even worse. It's the something dimension, right? They talk about this third dimension. Listen, I that is just disrespectful, right? Stop being disrespectful. I don't think you know what the third dimension is. You might know about 2 dimensions. We haven't even explored it. The world, the construct is a shit dimension. That's what they call it. That's the construct. Don't be talking about no third dimension, right? We created this as source. We said, you know what? We want to feel ourselves. We want to feel consciousness. We want to slow this down. We are in so much joy. Let's vibrate closer. Let's put these particles closer together and form something as beautiful as you. You, God. And let us, right? Even in the what is that? The Bible, right? Don't it even say, and let us do this and let us do that, right? It said, let us make ourselves and these beautiful formations as gods. And listen, let me tell you, I don't think this formation is weak and fragile. Why would Source create something so fucking fragile that is always available to be victimized by whatever, from whatever dimension? Not, we ain't even talking about lions, tigers, and bears, right? We talking about reptilians, demons, devils, you know, all that. Listen, change your mind about what can and cannot come into your frequency, right? You, like I always say, you can't make no decisions about what I'm going to experience. I don't give a fuck where you from. Whatever dimension, whatever, I don't care. Nope. And I'm speaking from experience. Don't, I've had the experience, right? Transformation happens in the moment. They say, oh, really, High Priestess? Let's see. Let me go to sleep, see what happened. They don't come no more. Right? They do not come. You can't come from me, from no dimension. I'm saying it loud. Why? Because I'm not speaking out of just philosophy. I've had the experiences over and over again until it don't happen no more. So I know you can change your mind about what can and cannot happen to your avatar, because this avatar is you. It is your etheric self feeling itself in a formation that's natural. And then if you then bond with the earth, stop talking about the planet like you fucking know what the planet does. You don't know yet. What we know is pain and suffering. You better talk to this planet. You on it. Bond with it so it can do with you what it does with the animals and the plants. So you can have that natural navigation. And as a matter of fact, who creates planets and suns and moons and stars and frequencies? Right? You ain't underneath nothing. You designed all of this. You did. So there is no matter and no matters, right, that get to have a primary position over you. Right? We came here to experience. We created these things to experience. So bond with them. They're yours. You know, talk to the earth a little bit. They'll tell you. Stop bowing down to some of the things that you bow down to. Now, I'm not saying stand up and I command the earth, right? Like, that is not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. On some of y'all, I'm getting y'all gassed up, right? No. That you were taught that by this war consciousness. That's not how stuff works, right? Planets do what planets do. Earth, stars and suns and stuff, they do what suns do. They understand who they are. This is not about dominating something. It's about being aligned with it because it is all part of the same matter. It's all part of source. Right? We got to think about it in a different way. Use your divine mind. Right? Not the conqueror's mind that says, because, High Priestess said, I run everything. High Priestess said, I made the earth. Right? Right? That's what High Priestess said. So I command the earth, right? It don't work like that. That's not that. Get that out your mind. That is the conqueror. That's a false concept, right? Especially because you're doing it as a singular. You're doing it as a solo, or as we say, an individual in division of you all, right? I say so. This what wave spell were we on? The night wave spell is telling us to be more abundant with this efficiency. It's not efficient for one person to get out there and say, hey, I'm gonna control the earth all by my motherfucking self, right? Me. It's all about me. You don't have the intelligence yet. Not one of us, but maybe all of us do. Because we're still removing the poison from our brains. that has that conqueror's mind, that program mindset in it, if we actually think that it's in division of you all, right? So then that takes us to this wave spell that we're about to talk about, which is the warrior wave spell, which gives us that divine intellect that says, it don't even think like that. Like we don't even, it's not even a calculation. How did y'all get, man, y'all some crazy people, right? Y'all some crazy people out here thinking that one person runs everything. That's ridiculous. That's where we are now. That's how we got into this mess right now with this program. Forgetting that we are the mycelium of source tree. We have that. As beings, we are all one or ones, right? Let's go to the next slide. Man, I'm telling you, this storm getting me all worked up. I thought this was the quiet storm. This 199 is kind of loud. Right? Come on now. Okay. So we are here on Chem 199. It says, I define in order to catalyze, measuring energy. I seal the matrix of self-generation with a self-existing tone of form, and I am guided by the power of vision. All right, Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe. Oh, let's break this down. Next slide, please. All right, so we are here in this warrior wave spell, and we started out, right, with the magnetic warrior, and each of the archetypes in this wave spell all make up the vibration and the frequency of whatever the warrior wave spell is doing. Now, so what is it doing? The warrior, we know that the warrior is called the pathfinder or the journey finder, right? It is cosmic intelligence. We know that this archetype sits in the seat of power in the court of cosmic intelligence. That's what we know. So this wave spell, this 13 unit cycle, is telling us how this comes into fruition, right? How does the warrior come into being the pathfinder or the journey finder, sitting in the seat of power in the court of cosmic intelligence, right? Being cosmic in intelligence itself, right? Well, it's because it has support, right? Destiny cross and all of that stuff, but it also has the support of 13 archetypes that are all in that vibration. So if you're in this wave spell, like you Chem 199, right? Probably extremely in what they call intelligence, right? Moves towards things like that, you know, scientific, you know, calculations and all kinds of stuff, right? these people in this wave spell. So we started out with the magnetic warrior that says, I unify, I become one in order to question. Now, why, if you say, well, it's intellect, why is it asking questions? Well, it's going to tell you, right? Because I'm fearless, attracting fearlessness. Okay, well, still, what does that have to do with intelligence? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I seal the output, the expression of intelligence, right? With the magnetic tone of purpose, and I'm guided by my own power doubled, right? The way that it ends up, right, is through the yellow, the star, right? The yellow cosmic star. So it ends up with the transcendence of the artist, of art, It transcends art, right? Because it's going to take us into a whole new cycle, right? Where we go into a cycle of purification. This is the end of the evolutionary cycle. It says, "Are we complete now? We have the intelligence, right? We have it. When you have intel, you know where to go. You know what to do, and you know how to do it. You can be in full expression, right? What did I say? The meditation is right here. You get to now determine your world. It's right in front of you. Whatever you close your eyes and you see, then that then materializes or comes into fruition out here. If you say you're not in conflict, guess what's going to happen, right? When I started saying that, right, I said, you know what? Well, let me start before that. I forget how many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, I decided that I'm gonna really pay attention to my resistance. I'm not saying I'm done yet, right? I was on a quest, Ion, right? Let me see what happens when I start being so resistant, so stubborn, right? And I'm not saying that I'm completely done, but I'm more open and I'm aware of when I am, right? And can shift out of those things, a lot faster than I would before, because I couldn't see them, right? So when I went on that quest, Ion, what started to happen, or when I asked that question, the first thing that happened, right, was I kept getting a whole bunch of things that I normally would resist to see, because I asked the question, right? I said, okay, you know what? I see that I am resistant to a lot of things. Let me see, right? The meditation happened here. Yes, I went in there, I rolled my eyes to the back of my head and saw all kinds of things and saw myself not being resistant. And I did the mental work to change my brain. And then it says, okay, now you're ready to express it in intelligence. So here come a person, place, or thing, right? So that I would resist, right? So when I say change your mind, let me give a disclaimer. I'm going to tell you what to expect, right? It don't go away. It don't disappear. Not yet. Not that's a stage when it does, right? But the first stage is not that it disappears. The first stage, when I start saying, you can't make no decisions about me, you can't get to me in any realm, right? Guess what started to happen? People, places, things, and beings, and all of that stuff started coming for me, right? So I'm saying this we're in this way spell of the warrior, right? Talking about being fearless. Be careful what you ask for, right? That's what they say. Be careful what you ask for. If you're not prepared for that, if you're not ready to use the intellect, the intelligence that you have in the right now, right? To fully express it now, then you might want to wait, right? You might want to do a little bit more planning and development, right? Because the transformation happens in the moment, right? It is in your waking consciousness. And so when I made those decisions, boom, it came. And then, you, as I say, you got to pass a few tests. You pass the test. But you got to be fearless about these things. If you really are intending on being the full expression, the full embodiment of your divine self, you're going to evolve. Right? Sometimes we are just happy to evolve in our heads. You know, as they say, we go to our happy place, right? But then don't get to experience it right here, right now. Right? So in our minds, when we close our eyes, you know what I'm saying? We the done data, right? Well, as soon as we get off the session, right, we go to our job and we go to our, you know, just experiencing our world, right? Nope. It happens in the moment. So that's full intelligence. That's full intellect, right? So that's how we started. That's what this wave spell is about, right? that's what this wave spell is about. Stop. I can't stop. Moon Goddess, and I can't look at the chat. I just happened to glance down and I saw that. So so as we go into this is a warrior. See, this is a divine warrior, right? We're not talking about conquering and doing stupid stuff, killing the earth, killing the planet that we live on, doing just ridiculous things that this world is doing. Not the planet is not doing it, the world. The people that are controlling, that were, let me say they were controlling the frequency. It's we got next. It's us now. We're controlling this frequency. We're not repeating this. So a divine warrior understands that question that they're asking and what it's going to express. You got to be fearless when you ask that question, right? And maybe ask a few. Now, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, so if I start saying that can't nobody come for me, oh, that means that people gonna come for me so I can test out whether they can come for me. Yep. Okay, well, wait a minute. Wait. Hold on now. Hold on. Okay. So what happened? I might not be ready for that, right? Right? You want to ask a lot of questions. You want to have divine intellect. Right. You know how you watch the movies and, you know, some spies and they going and they trying to get intel on where this cell is hiding and all of this stuff. Yeah, they want to get all the intel. They want to know their families, their friends, you know what I'm saying? Where these entities, where they hang out, who they be with, where they come from. Right? I want to know where they at, where they mama at. Where they children's, you know, everything. Because then, you know what I'm saying? If they going to get me when I'm asleep, I'm going to know where everybody lives. And what I can do about it, right? And really, here's the thing. Here's the intellect. Now, you know, I'm not trying to scare people, right? But we talking about we in this wave spell of fearlessness, right? Here's the thing, though. This is another reason why you can be fearless. I said it earlier. Right? You're the creator. You source. You're the primary. If you can't remember nothing else when you are afraid, it's to remember that you're primary. Right? And not from an egotistical perspective. But you get to create your experience. You get to create what you experience in this world. Now, it may not be showing up like that, but it will. It will. right? There's just some unraveling. That's all. So we started there. I don't know, this warrior ain't trying to let me out. Okay, let's get come on, let me go. Right. Then we had the red earth, the navigator come back in and say, see, you hear all that she said? Once you realize that, now you can stabilize this evolution. This is how you know you are complete. You understand how this works. You understand how cosmic intelligence or divine intelligence operates. It's the full expression in fearlessness. There is no fear in evolving into a divine being and the full embodiment of it. Being primary in your experience. Stop worrying about everybody else's experience. Stop measuring you by them or them by you. Right? That's the war program that keeps telling you that in order for you to be what you are, you got to measure it by somebody else and what they either are being or not being. Right? Measure it by where you sit in your archetype. What's your role? What's your function? Right? Coming to our 13 tones class. We almost done, but you can get the replays, right? That's your measure. Your measure is what vibration of this frequency, what specialty of source you are. Everybody's source. Every one of us. It's time for us to operate as our species on this planet and stop being scared and in deficit. Anybody that wants to put somebody underneath them, you are in deficit, right? Because what's hiding behind that is somebody who feels insufficient. So you have to, in order for you to feel sufficient, you got to make somebody else insufficient. Don't be afraid to not have a hierarchy like that. Don't be afraid to experience a world that has nothing to do with that program. We're all thrive. But we just have a good time being us. And yeah, we are, I'm just saying, the warriors might get out there and as the old people say, wrestle, right? They might go out there wrestling, whatever, but it's not based on the same thing, right? All right, so let me go. I ain't even get to the thing. Okay, all right. Let me talk about this. Okay, all right. So we got the red earth, right? That then stabilizes our evolution. Says this is what's efficient. You understand now. You understand the mission, right? Now you can stabilize your evolution, right? The mirror, that's where we were on the last plasma, right? That says now look in the mirror. Look at yourself now. Look at who you bonded with. You bonded with you. Your quantum entanglement is showing. Every time you look in that mirror, you be like, whoa, look at this quantum entanglement. Oh, shit now. Girl, I got on my Arisha stones and everything. Shit, girl. Child. Right? That's that electric mirror. Showing you your quantum entanglement. Showing you as source. Embodying that quest that you want, that quest ion, fearlessly. I can do this, right? Now we go into the measurement, right? Let's go to the next slide. I know y'all like, damn, she just spent about 30 minutes on that one slide. Okay, come on. Next slide. It was good though, right? It was good, right? So we're on this self-existing storm, Kim 199, that measures this intelligence. I had to do it, right? So we can get here, right? We define, right? We talked about this on the last aligning with the cycles. We talking about our significance. The significance is in our galactic signatures, right? So as they say, we signify, right? We defining this intelligence. We are on a quest. It's stabilized by our evolution. And the storm, as we know, listen, when the storm said that, listen, let me tell you why she spent all that time. Because when I get to this, right, I'm going to start catalyzing energy. So we have to be prepared, right? Because we're now talking about changing our world, right? So we're standing on our insignias. We throwing up our gang signs, right? I'm 242, right? We doing that, right? In order to catalyze, right? The intelligence that goes along with us being attached to our quantum selves, right? Our etheric selves. We're catalyzing more and more of that each time, right? Catalyzing the intellect that goes with being the embodiment of divinity, right? We just looked in the mirror and saw how bonded we are with ourselves, right? Now we're going to measure that energy. And how are we going to measure that energy, right? With the seeing it in real time. It's when you measure stuff, it's precise, right? You get that little ruler and it's, you know, and it has the little things. It's a precise measurement of energy that goes along. It's precision, right? That goes along with the intellect, cosmic intelligence, divine intelligence, right? Next slide, please. Right? Sealing in the matrix of self-generation. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going. We are immortal, melanated immortals, making evolutionary changes, right? From source. I've been talking about, what we've been talking about, right? When we talk about the matrix, that's the mother. Origin. Where we come from, source, the all, the whole, the most high, creator. We come from divinity. We're divine dominant, divinity dominant. That's our origin. We're source. And then we can change our minds into the intellect of that. What does that look like on earth? Again, it's my perspective. We don't know yet. We think we know. I don't think we know yet. That's only one way to find out, right? With the self-existing tone of form, right? In our natural formation, in our natural mind, in our full faculties, right? Guided by the power of vision. We hear Moon Goddess talk about this, right? That mind space. We are able to create the mental space to be divinity on earth, right? Real quick, let's go to the soul circle. All right. The storm channels prophecy, right? The blue storm channels the Skywalker, who is the prophet, right? That gives us information about our destiny. That's why we can change the world. What were we just talking about? It's our time. We get to decide the frequency of this planet. We get to decide what can and cannot happen on this planet. Right? We get to determine. We were just in the summer solstice event, right? Womb evolution. We get to now catalyze our wombs to never bring in any being on this planet that has the capacity to do what is happening now. Do you understand what we just did? We can say no more knuckleheads on the planet and don't bring them in. And we had the men there too, programming their seed. The women programming their wombs for these new frequencies. Ain't gonna never be none. No more. Right? Ain't gonna be it. We will not have a planet where anybody is allowed to sit around a conference table and decide that people got to pay for water, that we won't allow free energy to happen when it's floating around. You can get it out of potatoes, where it's against the law to have a garden. Makes no sense, right? We program our producing organs to not ever produce. Anybody who has a mindset to keep food away from people, where nobody has to be starving on the planet. Nobody has to be homeless. Nobody has to not have clothes. Everybody can be, pimped out however they want to be. Right? That's what we're doing. That's what we do. This is why we need to meet in person. If you haven't been to one of our in-person events, get yourself ready for the convergence. It's gonna happen on the fall equinox. Y'all want to come through for the convergence, right? It's gonna be in Georgia, northern Georgia. Just we don't have the location yet, but that's what we're gonna do, right? All right, let's talk about this. Channels prophecy, right? The storm channels prophecy. The mind of the storm is a purifier, or as we like to say, pure fire, right? It's universal flow, right? And so it is, because the storm creates a crystal clear path, it needs to have pure intellect. It needs to know the prophecy. It needs to know the destiny. So we changing the world, right? So the world is right here now, and it need to be over here. Okay, so are we moving sheep, or we moving wolves, or we moving something else? I just need to know, right? So that I can create the flow, right? Notice the storm. All the storms got water and wind, right? The way that the storm moves is through the wind, right? I like to explain the wind as the atmosphere, because when the wind is not blowing, what is it? It's what we're breathing in. It is the atmosphere, right? So the storm channels the prophecy, right? Needs to know what is moving, get the water moving, right? And then it flows through the wind, the communion. Sometimes it's the voice, like what has been happening today. Oh my God, I've been talking, right? The storm moves through the voice of spirit. All of us have that, right? It's just for the winds, it's just our specialty. But that's the movement. So it starts to flow because it's about to change. It says, let there be light, and there's light. And then boom, here we go. What shows up is the enlightened one. That's how the storms show up. With an enlightened life. It said, we ain't got to do this shit no more. We ain't got to live like this and no pain and suffering. We get to decide. If we can just unify. Or remember, it don't have to be no hard thing. Just remember the truth about who we are, our natural formation. Now we can live that enlightened life. So let's go to the next slide, please. How do you measure change, right? I think that, we got a bit here, right? To ruminate on. Definitely go back and check out the replay, as we heard Moon Goddess talk about. Like, subscribe, go to our website, right? Go and check out everybody who supports us. Arisha Stone, right? Checking them out. And it definitely has been my honor and my pleasure. I love y'all. Definitely, if you are new and you want to be a part of our meet up for new people, go ahead and send us an email. I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Hotel.
Ooh, wee. My. Y'all, she gave us a lot bit to marinate on. That 411 was the 411 for the world changes we are in this plasma. We got some work to do, some broadcasting to do. Yeah. Casting all our original spells. Ashe, our natural spells. Ooh, we y'all. Come on, let's do this. We are one. Let's do this together. As a melanin dominant population, let's do this together. And it takes each and every one of us understanding who we are, walking in our divinity, living out our purpose, supporting each other, speaking our truth inward and outward, taking everything that we are to the next and the next, not just the next, not just the next person or kin, but to the next levels. Ashe. Oh my goodness, y'all. So this came to my thoughts. I don't know if each and every one of you understand the value of showing up in time. We start this session every Friday dawning at 7:30 a.m. And in the beginning, the first level of aligning with evolving cycles of time and empowerment is taking you to the foundation, okay? The foundation of why we're here and how we got here and, what to do with what we have, right? And then the middle part of it is the breakdown of what we're doing in this plasma, where Moon Goddess comes and breaks down the Destiny Oracle, right? And then High Priestess comes and follows us through. Mind you, every single thing that is shared from start to finish is helping each and every one of us get into the frequency, get into the vibration. And High Priestess comes and totally rips it all to pieces and then puts it all back together. So if you're not here from start to finish, all right, then you're really missing out a lot. And sometimes, yeah, you can say go back and listen to the replay, but it don't vibe the same than when you're in the space, all of us together with one mind, with one heart, with one soul, because we are one. So let's get on this track, y'all. Let's be about the mission to shift the global consciousness and the melanin dominant population, establishing an everlasting legacy of divine frequency beings with immortal health and immortal wealth through the application and the remembrance of cosmic knowledge, because that is who we are. That is what we are about. Ashe, y'all with me there? Show up this coming Sunday for the Melanin Frequency Vigil. You're going to get a little bit more understanding of the wise so we can be wise as we ask wise to become wise or to be wiser. So somebody else comes up to us and asks the wise, then we got those answers. Give thanks, much gratitude to us all showing up for ourselves and the universe. We're going to go ahead and close out this session. How do you measure change? Just by being it, if you ask me. Be the change you want to see. Ashe, y'all enjoy your creation. Enjoy this plasma. Enjoy ourselves. Got a world changer song to play. Yeah, I do. All right.